All right, welcome back, everybody. It is another beautiful Sunday, and it is 4 o'clock, and it is time to get started. We are live, or you may be on YouTube. So, welcome to all my Facebook people. Welcome to my YouTube people. It is another wonderful day here in sunny, warm Florida. It was only supposed to get in the low 70s, and right now it feels like it's a little higher than that, although it's probably not. It's probably just me. Anyways, today we are 1 week away from starting our next quilt, our next mystery quilt. It'll start on March 3rd. If you are interested, just send me a message. Do not put this in the comments, but send me a message. Give me your email. Tell me you're interested. I will send you out the fabric requirements so you can join us by March 3rd. If for some reason you don't make it in by March 3rd, but you would still like to join, the patterns will be available, or the clues will be available on my Etsy shop for a small fee. And it is just a small fee. It's just enough to help me cover cost and so I can keep making the content for you guys. I'm absolutely having a blast. I'm having a fun time, and I'm so excited about all the different people I get to meet here online. Anyway, so if you are watching on Facebook and you need to see it again, you can either watch it on Facebook. It's good for up to 30 days, I believe, or you can always go to my YouTube channel, which is also listed under SRQ Quilters, and you can watch it there as many times as you want. Just don't forget to like it, subscribe it. Don't forget to at least like it, because those likes really help me to keep the content coming, okay? And I know YouTube likes it when people are interested. If you don't do a lot of likes, then they think people aren't really interested in it, which I always try to do. I try to like most of the videos I watch because I enjoy them. Anyways, so let's get started. Let's see. Okay, first off, the quilt behind me right here. In fact, let me try my new camera lens, my new camera. Oop. See if that pops up. Hang on. I apologize. I get to look at that thin neck, fat neck. All right, so here is the, this is the log cabin quilt. This is actually the one that I was working on 3 years ago, and I finally finished it. I got the borders on today, or not today. I got the borders on last week. I got the cornerstones on, the sashings, and it's all done in a different color. The sashings and the border are done in different colors than what I have in the quilt, only because I actually did run out of this fabric. I thought I had a little stash of it stuck away, but when I pulled it out, it was not nearly enough to do all the sashings and the borders. So make sure you're putting your fabrics away that you intend to use later, so you don't lose them like I did mine. I probably wound up using it in another project and didn't even realize it. So this is actually the quilt that I did 3 years ago. There's still the quilt that we put together in the actual class. I can't get it on my Kindle, but I can on my phone. Okay, all right. Yeah, I don't know. I have a Kindle tablet. I'm still working on figuring that one out. And I know that there's a whole KDP thing going on, but I don't think I'm on that yet. Anyway, so this is that one. So this was done in a different fabric color, but similar colors, but different fabrics. Then this one over here was done in a different fabric altogether. This was bees, because I really kind of have a thing for bees. Which is interesting, because as a child I was allergic to bees. I don't know about it now because I haven't been stung in a long time, but wasp, not so much. I've been stung by those. I used to step on those all the time. But this one is my bee fabrics, and I love it, and it's already gone. Sold, gone, out the door. So I just have to get it finished up, get it quilted in, and get it on its way. Anyway, so that's that one. And then, okay, so that one's underneath there. When we get ready, I'll show you the quilt that's underneath there. That one is not a log cabin, but okay. So let me change back to my other video. Here we go. Okay. Get me off of that one, because anyways, I don't go with that. I have body issues. Anyways, okay, so today what we're going to be working on, I can't get on, okay. Today we're going to be working on two different things. I'm going to just kind of go over a couple things I've been working on and just show them to you. One of them is a hexagon quilt that I'm working on. I love some of these things that pop up, and people ask me to do things for them, and the hexagon one is one of them. But let me show you this. I'm going to go to the tabletop. There we go. Sorry, thought I had it all figured out. Guess I didn't. Okay. So here are regular old dryer sheets. These regular old dryer sheets are things that we normally just toss in the trash. Believe it or not, you can iron these. And these have all been ironed because, of course, they've been through the dryer. And so you can still feel just a little bit of stuff on there. The funny thing is they kind of clean the bottom of your iron. If you've ever looked at your iron after you iron a dryer sheet, it actually looks pretty good. Now, you don't want to use too high of a heat on this because you could possibly melt them. But they make great foundation piecing, and that's what I'm going to show you today. So let's take one. That one's nice and crispy. All right, so here's some fabric, and we can do it this way or this way or this way, but right now I'm doing most of my pieces this way. Let's take that piece, and I've got some other strips over here that I've just kind of piled up. Just some extra pieces kind of laying around. Not much to do with them. And this one, let's see. Okay, so let's put this piece in the center, and then we're going to put this piece right here, and then we're going to stitch a 1/4 inch seam all the way down. And you want it to be a straight 1/4 inch seam. So make it so that you know you're following one of your edges. Whichever edge you finish, follow it, start from the top and begin it all the way to the bottom. You can clip it, pin it, whatever you need to do. I'll be honest, with these I don't really do a whole lot of clipping or pinning, but just so I can get it over to the sewing machine, I'll clip it for now. All right, so let's get over here. And remember what I said, we're gonna take and follow one line. We're gonna pick one and we're gonna go straight. Okay. And then we're just gonna take our wood iron, which you'll also find this in my Etsy shop. Take our wood iron and just kind of, you know, I've seen people do the finger pressing, and I'm just not very good at the finger pressing. Maybe it's just because of my nails. I don't know. All right. So let's come back over here. There we go. And these are just random. There's, you know, I'm not trying to match up any colors or anything. I mean, I have on some of them, but for the most part, I don't do a whole lot of matching. And then we're just going to place it right there. And then we're going to take it over there to the sewing machine and give it another stitch. Now, what's the advantage to using dryer sheets over just putting them together? Well, I love to do scrappy, and the one thing I noticed with my scrappy quilts was that when I was done, even after I had quilted them, I would notice that some of the seams sometimes would pull away, and I would have to go back and restitch little areas here and there, which, you know, it's no big problem, but I'm not crazy about that. So I came across this thing where they were just using random items around the household to do this. And I thought, oh man, these dryer sheets are perfect for that. One, they've got real good structure. And once you stitch it down, they're not gonna pull apart. So you've got a nice foundation. It's really light. Once you iron it or dry it, some of that fragrance just comes right through. So if you're giving this as a gift to somebody, just make sure they're not sensitive to smells, or make sure they're not, sensitive to smells, or have allergic reactions to these kind of, dryer sheets. That's the only thing. If they have sensitivities to smells or things against their skin, even though it's not going to wind up being against their skin, just, maybe this isn't for that particular person. Yes, you could use SF101, except that it's more of a fusible, and I just like that this one isn't, that you don't have to worry about fusing it down. And it's something you don't have to purchase because you already purchased it to use it in your drying. And believe me, by the time we're done, I have 5 to 10 of these every week, because my husband will actually double up on them because he does all the laundry. So he doubles up on them, and then I wind up with extra dryer sheets that I get to use. And I love it. I think it's fun. I think it's hilarious. Anyways, let's finish this one up, and then I'll show you how far I am in the quilting. One of the other things that I have actually been using that is similar to the dryer sheets is my leftover no-show mesh from my embroidery. Sometimes I'll have, larger pieces that come from doing some of the embroidery, and I find that that's actually pretty good for something like this as well. So if you want to hang on to your no-show mesh, I'd say your bigger pieces that are at least, 4, 5, 6 inches by 4, 5, or 6 inches, just hang on to those pieces and use those for some of those scrappy things. I actually had a whole pile of them the other day, and I used them because I was trying to see how much I could get away with using one piece already stitched in the hoop, and then just cutting out the embroidery section and putting another piece in, just to that, stitching that down and then reusing that one piece, as opposed to using a new one every single time. Because sometimes you can use as much as, let's see, you know what, I think I'm going to take this piece right out of the center. You can use as much as 2, 3, 4 yards of stabilizer just for one project. And I don't know about y'all, but that stuff can get expensive. Man, can that stuff get expensive. Okay, we got another piece down. We're going to take it back over here. And stitch it down. And then, so this piece is actually almost finished. We got one more little piece we'll need to stick on there. Let's see if I can find a little piece that I can just, well, that's kind of big. Oh well, I think that'll work. Oh, no, I got a piece right there. Yep. Okay. All right, let's move that camera back into place. So here's my last little piece. This may have actually come from somebody's quilt, I'm not sure. Sometimes if the piece is small enough, it may not go back to them because it's barely enough to even leave a mark. So we're going to put that piece right there just like that. Go back and stitch it. Alright, and once the dryer sheet is completely covered, then we know we've covered the whole thing. And the one thing I would caution is to make sure when you're doing this, if you want to keep doing this, just make sure that you've got enough pieces before you quit and buy a different brand. Because sometimes the brands are all different in their sizes. So I like to buy the same size, which I think he uses the orange one. I think that's a Downy. So that's what we use and we're currently using. And I actually have a huge bag full of them, but I do iron out a few of them every once in a while. Okay, Now that that is completely covered, all right, so if we look at it, it is completely covered. If you look all the way around, the dryer sheet is completely covered. Now, here's what we're going to do. I wonder where that pen went to. We're going to cut there. We're going to cut right up to the dryer sheet. And hopefully you can see your dryer sheet. Sometimes it's hard to even see the dryer sheet. I can hear my husband in there snoozing on the couch. It's Sunday. It's the day of rest, and he is definitely resting, which is always good. Okay. And there you have it, one completed block. And again, the pieces can be any size. You can go in any direction. I've used previous blocks that are maybe orphan blocks that didn't fit in anymore. Sections of blocks that I've just trimmed off the ends. It doesn't matter. Use whatever is left in your scrap pile. Oftentimes I save scraps according to whether they're squares or strips, or sometimes just little itty bitty pieces, and then later on I'll go through and toss what's left into what I call the dog pile, or the dog bed pile. Okay, so let's get back over here. Let me see. All right, so let's take this one down. I apologize because I am sure you're probably getting a very interesting view underneath with my shirt raised up. All right, we'll get these out of the way. Ah, darn it, I forgot about that one. Okay. All right. So here's the quilt that I've been working on with my dryer sheet, scrappy dryer sheets. So you would take your scraps and you would place them like these are all right here. And you would just run down a row and then sew a row to another row. So this one I did this way. I don't know if you can see past my arm here. This one I did this way, but then this one I went this direction. And in fact, I think one of these upside, oh, this one is actually receipt paper. I was wondering where my receipt paper went to, but this was actually a receipt paper that I used, an old calculator tape paper. And then one of them was cut. Anyways, so you can turn it any direction. Just get a row going and then just sew them down and put them together. And what's so much fun about it is pretty much every piece of fabric in here came from something I was working on at some point. This was a quilt for my granddaughter. She loves Halloween. This was a watermelon table runner that I was doing. There's a Valentine project that I had done. This was barn door quilt that's still waiting to be quilted. This project, I don't remember, but it sure does look familiar. There's some of my bee fabrics, and just everything in here is from something. Here's another block that was never used, an orphan block. Here's an orphan block over here that was never used. And, just whatever you have. I mean, they work great for this. Anyways, so if you have any questions about that, please feel free to ask questions. But that is the dryer sheet. Basically, it's foundation piecing, but it's scrappy. So you do scraps, or you can do it with, using a color scheme or, a color palette. Whatever tickles your fancy. Doesn't have to be scrappy, although I like scrappy. I like scrappy a lot. Okay.